welcome to the Farmstead. My name's Teresa. Grandkids call me Nana. So if you're new here or you've been here before, I'm glad you're here this morning. I have got some gifts, some holiday gifts that are ready to be packaged up and wrapped. And I thought I'd bring you along and show you the different ways that I do that. Now, I by no means am a fancy wrapper kind of person. I remember many years ago when I was growing up, pretty small, telling my mom that when it got time to wrap the Christmas gifts, I wanted to do it. And that usually meant putting them in a box, wrapping them with some wrapping paper, and putting one of the little bows that you peel the stick off and stick up on there and stick them on there. So that was the extent of our wrapping. And I've grown a little bit over the years, but not much. In fact, most years, my folks will get a box wrapped in paper with their name written with a Sharpie on the front. And that works for us because we transport a lot of our things to where we're going for the holiday. So we're not squishing bows, but I figured this year I'd do a little better. So I have a box, a little tote with some supplies in it, ribbons, embellishments, tags for the packages, all kinds of different little things that I keep all in one spot. So I've got those. I've got wrapping paper. Now my theme this year and for the last couple of years has been the red truck. So I have some wrapping paper there. But this year I bought something to complement it and go along with it to give us a little variety. So we can use both and I won't have all of one thing. Now the first thing I'm going to start with is a box that is already decorated. This, you can buy these at all kinds of different spots. And this is a little box that is nice on the inside. And I'm going to use this as, say, a teacher gift. Now, I polled my educator family members, and they tell me that a teacher most likes to receive gift cards and chocolate. So that was the overwhelming consensus, gift cards and chocolate. So that's what I'm blaming here. So I've got some of this paper that's shredded. You can buy it in little packages, and one package will do 2 or 3 gifts depending on, you know, what you're giving and how big your box is. So I'm going to put a little bit of that in there. Pick it up because I've made a mess with it. I've got some chocolates. I've got a coffee mug. I've got some hot chocolate. So I'm going to put some hot chocolate in there. I'm going to lay my mug in here. I'm going to pour some candy around it. That. A couple packages. These are small packages. There's that. I've got a trash can sitting over here by me, so I can just put my things away. And there's that. I'm going to put the rest of the paper on here. And then I have a gift card, and I'm going to lay the gift card right on top. Now, you could write a note on here. I have got some cards that I used as Christmas cards a couple years ago, and you could write a card, let the child sign it, and put it in there with it. That would be a nice touch as well. So there we go. There's a great teacher gift. And it closes up. It's got a little magnetic thing on here. And you could gift this just as it is. You could tie a bow on it if you wanted. But this is pretty just like it is. So there's one. The next thing I have are these little bags that you can get at the dollar stores, and they're easy to put things in. In this case, I'm going to put a jar of oranges. Now, you could put some tissue paper in here if you wanted. Not necessary, I don't think. Pull the strings. There we go. It's all tied up. You take, I have a collection of tags that I've accumulated over the years They usually come with these little ribbons on them. They have stickers, ones that are stickers. You could use those. I'm going to tie this on here. And this would be great as a hostess gift if you're going something homemade. Doesn't have to be homemade. It could be something that you found. It could be a jelly, a favorite jar of maybe pickles or special olives, roasted red peppers, anything that you know the person who is getting it would enjoy. Simple and easy. So there's two. Next one we're going to do is the bag of peppermint. I have one person in my family who especially loves these. So this will go over well. So I'm going to I have some hole punchers. I'm going to take my hole punch, punch a hole. I'm going to find some ribbon. What kind of ribbon am I going to use? Let's use this little plaid ribbon. I'll find the end. I'm going to thread it through. I'm going to thread it through just like that. I'm going to take my other gift card and it goes right through the hole. Just like that. Trim my ribbon. Tie it up. I'm going to tie this in a knot, but I'm not going to pull it real tight so that someone could easily cut it off. Now, an easy way to cut your ribbon, fold it in half, cut down like that, and you end up with pretty little points on it. And it doesn't unravel as much this way. So there we go. No time at all. There's another. All right, so everything's back in here. And you could add a tag to that one too. Let's set those back in there. All right, next thing we're going to do is this little bag. This is a gift bag. Bought right at the store. They usually come with these little plastic tabs. And I like to get those off. Sometimes they'll break. Sometimes you have to cut them. Nope, this one's tearing. Okay, so there we go. Now I've got a gift box. This is a box of things. I know someone that really likes popcorn. So I found this, but instead of just wrapping the box up, I'm going to embellish it a little bit. So I'm going to take this apart. And you could give this to them just like this would be fine, but I'm going to do a little better. I'm going to take these out. So I'm going to take out the popcorn. Box of popcorn. I'm going to put that down in there because it's pretty tall. I'm going to get some of my tissue paper. I think I'm going to use some green since the bag is red. Will look kind of festive. These are flavored salts. They're stuck to that, so I'm going to get some of that glue off. And I'm going to wrap them up. I'm going to set them in the middle, just like that. Put them in. These are plastic bottles. I could probably put two in one. I don't want to move it around. All right. So let's put two in this one. Like that. Put it over in this corner. A lot of times these little bags have tags on them. This one doesn't. It's probably because I'm reusing it from another time. And put that right down in there. There you go. Find a tag. If you didn't want to do tags, if you have a card for someone, you could always sign your card and put it in there. Maybe put a little, in the card. Those are always fun things to get. if you have any of that left after you buy all the gifts. All right, so there we go. And there's another. All right, let's move this out of the way. Let's get that right over there. Now these are little canisters that you can buy at most anywhere. They're easy to put cookies, or I have some cereal mix over here that we're going to wrap up. But these are perfect for giving. And these are good for the top of this. You could stick one of the little sticker tags, write who it's to and who it's from on here. And those are easy to take, and you don't have to worry about getting them back after the holidays like you would with a good glass dish or something. So there's those. All right, so I'm going to set that out of the way over here. Next, I have two things we're going to do. First, I have a little box, and you can buy these little boxes in a package of 2 or 3. This is one that you assemble. So I'm going to fold it out, and there's usually directions on the package on how to assemble these or on the box. They're pretty simple. This one just happens to slide in. It's got a little slit right here. That tucks in there. And the front tucks in there. The back tucks in. Just like that. Just like that. Got a nice little box. Now I'm going to use cereal mix, and since cereal mix has butter and stuff in it, so it could get a little greasy, I've got a piece of parchment. I'm going to cut this parchment in half. This one of the sheets you use for baking already comes pre-folded. I'm going to put that in there on the bottom. This would be an easy thing to do if you were given a classroom full of folks a gift or something, or a Sunday school class. This is some cereal mix that we made. It's got some red and green M&Ms in it. Make it look a little special for the holidays. All right, so there's that. Now the little front tab tucks in. Little side tabs tuck in right where you tuck the other things. Have to coax it in, and there you go. You could do cookies, cupcakes, all kinds of things. I love these little boxes. So there's one. Now I could put a sticker on this. I could tape a tag on there. I could put a card with it. All kinds of different things. So there's our cereal mix. Now I bought a little plate, one of the dollar stores I went to. I've washed it off good. Now I'm going to add some cookies. Made a batch of homemade cookies the other day. Now if you've got some doilies or something you want to put on here, you might do that. I'm not, because it's a pretty little plate and I want it to show. So I'm going to stack some cookies and kind of arrange them so it looks like I didn't just chunk them on the plate. In this batch, I had peanut butter, and I've got a couple of my chocolate chips left. So you could do all of one. For instance, for us, I might do just all peanut butter because Papa doesn't eat peanut. Papa doesn't eat chocolate. So it might not be appropriate for him to have that. All right, so there's those. Now to wrap this up, you can buy all sorts of little plastic bags. Now, this one happens to be a giant gift bag for like a bicycle or a big gift that you're going to give. This one is a little bit smaller, and this would be for a basket, a gift basket that you might put together. There's those. And then you can buy these that are smaller, and this is for more like a tray. So 2 ways you can do this. I can just put this in here and tie it up if I want someone to see what's in there. Or I could put some tissue paper in here if you want to kind of be a surprise. But in this case, I want someone to see I'm giving them some fresh baked cookies. So I'm going to put it in there. Now these little corners, you can kind of work with them and tuck them in there so they're not sticking out like little ears. I'm going to tie it up. Now there have been times that I had a rubber band, and I'll put a rubber band right around this, or the bread tie things. You can do this, but don't have any of those today, so we're just using ribbon. Let's get some snowflake ribbon for this one, since we kind of got a snowflake theme going on here. Open that up. Cut us a good little chunk so we'll have room to kind of frill it up a little bit. So we're just going to tie it up. And this one I'm going to tie in a bow because I want them to be able to get into it easily. And get all my fingers working. There we go. Get a little bow done up on it. Now another way you can try to keep your ribbon from fraying. Here's the other end of that one. Oh, it's stuck up in there. Okay, it's fine. We're going to cut this one just at an angle. And again, that kind of keeps them from looking frayed and makes it look a little intentional. So this has got an awful lot on the top, so I'm just going to take it and trim it off. There we go. Now, who wouldn't like to get a plate of homemade cookies? Nice. And again, you can tie a little tag on it. You can put a sticker on it. Put a card on the bottom. Nice. All right, so I'm going to set these off to the side and we'll get to some of the bigger items. Be right back. Next up, let's use some gift bags. One's a small one. I'm going to use white tissue paper with this one because we got a little snowflake thing going on. Or maybe these are snow-covered Christmas trees. But it's white, so I'm going to use that. And here's a bag that still has the little tag on it, and you can write to and from, or you can just tear this off and put your own tag on there. I'm going to leave that one on. Now, I have a friend who really likes banana peppers, and this is a mustardy banana pepper batch that I did this year, and they are fantastic. So I'm going to share a jar of those. I'm just going to wrap that up in there like that and drop it down in my small bag. And these small bags are perfect for this. Now, you could trim some of this off if you wanted to, but I'm not. I'm going to leave it on there. Ready to go. Next up, I have a tall bag. These tall bags you can get in all kinds of designs. So many designs I saw this year. Must be a lot of folks gifting bottles of things. All right, so here's this one. We've got, there we go. All right, this one's got another one, little plastic tabs on it. Oh, pop right off. There we go. So there's that. This one I'm not going to put in there because I don't want the bottle rocking if I go to set it down. So a bottle of wine is always a nice choice for someone who likes wine. Perfect fit. You could wrap it up. You can stuff tissue in the top. Or if you have someone who likes a good vodka or a good bourbon. This is a bourbon whiskey. If you've got someone who likes this type of thing. Perfect little size for that. Same thing. You would do, you can take your tissue paper, put it right in the middle, and there you go. And tuck it in. Right in the middle. Tuck it in. Right on the tag. Put your own tag. Add a card with a $100 bill in it. That'd be nice. And there you go. All right. There's those. Now, what would you do with an odd shaped one? This is an odd shape. I don't want to really unfold it and put it in a box. I want it to be something that's cute and something fun. So when we can do something with a round shape like this, and I'm going to take the paper off of it, and I'm going to put a ribbon around it to hold its shape. So I'm careful not to cut the blanket underneath. There we go. All right, so I wanted to keep its shape, and this is pretty well going to keep its shape, but if it weren't, I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to tie, let's get some of our plaid ribbon out again. Just going to tie one around it. And I'm just going to make it long enough that I can kind of knot it up, because it'll slide right off. That way it'll keep it in place. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to trim off these. Just go at an angle. Just like that. And I'm going to take my wrapping paper, and you could do this. Oh, there's some for Chex Mix. You could do this with tissue paper as well for maybe a smaller item. I don't know if tissue paper would be big enough for this. I'm going to put this in the middle. I'm going to cut it off. And I'm going to leave this to where it goes a little bit above both sides. And I'm going to wrap this up to look like a piece of candy. So we'll start over here. Take it. I'm just going to roll, roll, roll. Just like that. Now I'm going to take ribbon, and I can use the same ribbon or a different ribbon. Use this because it's handy. You're going to bring it down here, and you're going to carefully, without poking a hole through the paper with your fingernails, gather it up. And tie it. I'm going to leave this ribbon a little long. And we'll do the other end. I left that one a little too long, I think. Trim it off a little bit. There we go. Now, if you felt like these were a little long, you could always trim them off. Try not to tear it like I just did. Be okay. Nobody will know. Don't tell anybody. This one's kind of out a little bit, so I'm going to trim it off so it kind of looks a little more even. This is kind of standing up, so I've got my tape. I'm going to put a piece of tape right across that seam. Hold it in place. There we go. Ready for a tag. And ready for gifting. Nice. Put that one out of the way. All right, let's move on to our bigger boxes. Now in this case, this is a box that comes with a bottom and a top, and the lid is already decorated. And here I have some pants and a shirt. I'm going to see if this one's got a price tag on it, which it does. I'm going to trim my price tag off, and I always like to trim. This one actually peels. A lot of them, they'll have it where it will peel apart so the barcode can still be seen, but the price is not there. So if for some reason I need to return that, the store is more likely to take it if it still has the barcode, whether or not it's got the price on it. So there's that. I'm going to take some white tissue paper, put in the bottom of my box. I'm going to fold these up neatly. Uh-oh. I'll pick that up in a minute. So I'm going to fold these up to where they're about the size of my box. They'll fit neatly in there. I'm going to tuck my tags down inside, unless you want somebody to see the tag, and then you can leave it out. So there's that. And the shirt. And we're going to peel this little part of the tag off that has the price, leaving the barcode intact. Maybe. There we go. Fold this up. Going to put where the collar is face up. All right. You could cover this with another sheet of tissue paper. I'm not. I am going to go get that lid. I'll be right back. Got it. Lid right on top. And there you go. Now you could wrap this in wrapping paper if you wanted. Be perfectly fine. You can tape up the bottom if you want, so there's no peeking going on, because, you know, that's never happened, but it could. You could put just a ribbon around it. You can put a little sticker with a name tag on it. You can put one of the little tags that have a string on there on it. You can put a card on it. All kinds of things you can do. All sorts of options. In this case, I'm just going to put a ribbon around it. Let's get a solid ribbon for this one. And let's get a red. Let's see, which one's already open? Not those. That. Let's tie a red ribbon around it. This is for Papa. Don't tell him. Don't want him peeking. Now, out of ribbon, you can make all sorts of fancy bows and things if you wanted to. And if you were so inclined, by all means, go right ahead. Sometimes I will. Not very often. In this case, I'm not, but I'm going to move it out of Santa's face. I'm going to trim it at an angle. Again, this just kind of keeps it from fraying. There we go. Ready for the tree. All right, let's do one more. This one we're going to do with wrapping paper. So this is one that came in a package. I've got a box, got a gift box. The bottom and the top of these gift boxes are the same. I'm going to add a little color to it with some red tissue paper. Tissue paper is not necessary. I like to do it just because it adds a little something, adds a little color, makes it a little more professional to my simplistic style that I tend to keep going on. All right, so here we have a set of pajamas that looks like maybe they are all, nope, socks that are pinned to the pants. So I'm going to leave that like that, but I'm going to put that side up. I'm going to scoot them to one edge. Here's the shirt. I'm going to tuck the tag in just like that. Ooh, these are soft. I might have to keep these. Tuck them in. Okay, now in this case, since I have a little bit of extra room on the top, tag down in there. There we go. I'm going to grab another piece of tissue paper and just lay it on the top. I'm kind of going to just fold it in like that. Lid on. I used to always tape these. And sometimes you have to tape them if your box is just a little too small for what's in it. But for the most part, I figure it out pretty well. I used to have people get so mad at me because they had to untape the boxes. I try not to tape anymore if I don't have to. All right, so now I got my paper rolled out. And paper these days, it's so handy. They have lines on them. I could cut some crooked lines now before they had all that. All right, so with my paper here, I'm going to line it up to where I have just about the height of the box on this one. Now, if you have something that is very narrow, I would make this to where it would go up over it so that you have room to work with and have something to hold on to. But in this case, I'm going to make it to where it's just about at the top of the box. This one, I'm going to eyeball it. Yeah, before they printed these lines on the back, I was going this way and that way, and then the next package didn't work out right. So then you had little scraps of paper everywhere. All right, there we go. So I'm going to move this to the middle, and I've got the top of the box down. I'm going to try to get it centered up in the middle the best I can. I'm going to put a piece of tape right here in the middle to hold it. And this one's going to come over. Now, for some reason, you have a piece of paper where you have cut it the other side, and your cut edge is right here in the middle. To make this a little more finished looking, you can take this edge, fold it over, just like that, and that way then you have the finished edge right in the middle of the back. I would bet you there's nobody that would critique you if you didn't. But just if you want to make it a little nicer, it's a little tip for you. And I typically do 3 pieces of tape, one on each end and one right in the middle. Now, to do an end, you sit right there. I'm going to take my hands and I'm going to fold these in. And I'm going to push down on the countertop to where we have like a 45-degree angle here. And then I'm going to use my hands to do the same on the top. And it's not as crisp, but still works. So here I'm going to bend this down. Now here we go. We've got a cut edge again. Don't have to, but if you wanted to, you can bend that over. Fold that down. Fold this up. This is why I like having the tape dispenser. It makes it so easy. And a lot of times, just like this one, I'm going to put one piece of tape, and then I'm going to go back with a longer piece of tape to hold it over. Just like that. Now you're going to find every package is a little different. Sometimes it's harder to do this, but you do the best you can. And in the end, it's all about what's on the inside, not what it looks like on the outside. So this one I'm not going to fold over. I'm going to take my tape there, tape there. There we go. Now, for many years in the past, my family will tell you they got a box just like that with their name and Sharpie on the side. Just how I roll. And they got the same present. It worked out fine. Let's do something a little different today. I've got all kinds of different ribbon in here. And since I have it, let's make something pretty. Let's do this red. And this is a wired ribbon so that it's going to stay in the shapes that you put it. Now, to do this one, I'm going to go just under the bottom and back up to the top. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to tie it. And I've cut this one really short. There we go. I'm going to knot this up, and this just slides off. I get frustrated when they have them going both ways, but if you want to do them both ways, you go right ahead. All right, so there's that. Now, I'm going to take this and I am going to make a little bow. And it's pretty easy to make these bows. You're going to take it and just going to flip it end over end. And you're going to gather in the middle as you go. We'll fluff this all out when we get it done. If you've got a great big package, you can get a great big roll of ribbon. You can make 2 or 3 of these bows and stick them on top of each other. You can do different colors, all kinds of different things. All right, so there we go. We're at the end. So I'm going to take a piece of my other little ribbon, which is thinner. I'm going to tie it right around this middle. This is a good place to have an assistant that can stick the finger there. Hold it in place while you make the knot. All right, so there's that. Now that we've got that, I'm going to take these and I'm just going to fluff them out. And this wired ribbon will hold the wires in place. And you can make them skinnier, you can make them fatter. Just move them around. Now this extra that I have on here is going to allow me to tie this onto the other ribbon. I'll put that on the bottom and just knot it up under there. Tie it to it. Just like that. All right, that one's cut at an angle, kind of, so that one's good. The other one is tucked up under there. All right, all that's good. The other ones are tucked up under there. They're good. Now, I have an ornament that I could tie on there. I could put the tag on the back if I wanted to. But I also have these Christmas cards. These were some that I mailed out a year or 2 ago and had some extras. So what I'm going to do is you could leave this whole and put it on there if you want to, but I'm going to cut off the front. And this one is a nice shape. You could cut around one. I have some that are the truck, and I could cut around that if I wanted to. All right, so here's this. I'm going to take my hole punch, put a hole right there in it. And then this ribbon that I tied the package to here with, if I can find it, there we go. Yes, it's long enough. So I'm going to stick that right up through there. And on the back of this, I'll write who it goes to and who it's from. Sometimes if you want to give it a gift, you always want them to know it's from you. You can always write from Santa. Everybody likes getting gifts from Santa. All right. There we go. So between all of these different methods, that should cover a whole bunch of different size presents that you have. All right, so let's get all these together and see what we got. And there we go. Several different ways to wrap up gifts that anyone would appreciate to receive from you. Hope you learned a little bit today. I've got a good start on my gift wrapping. Got to work on some more. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.